Hey everybody, this is Kenny Barr, aka your friendly neighborhood pastor here at North Church. Uh, just sending you a kind of a reminder video of what we talked about last Sunday in our small group / community group leader meeting, as well as those of you that were unable to make it. I just wanted to keep you guys in the loop as we continue forward, but just a small recap of what we did. My wife is now texting me a bunch, of course, as soon as I start recording the video. Just giving you a recap of kind of what we did and talked about at the leader meeting. We spent some time worshiping together. We spent some time praying for each other. Man, I can't tell you how fun it was just sitting in the back of the room and watching people that really don't see each other or maybe even know each other praying for each other and each other's groups. That was really actually, I planned it only being like a minute or so, and like 7, 8, 10 minutes go by, and I'm like, wow, this is so great. We got to hear from Pastor Nate and hear his heart for our church. And then we began talking about moving forward in January, being one group with one vision, with one direction, and talking about how we have groups, as we've been talking to all different group leaders, we have all these groups that are doing really wonderful things. And I can't express that enough. It's not a group or two out there that, oh man, they're kind of going off the rails or they're doing something we don't want them to do. It's actually a bunch of groups doing wonderful things. But we just want to head in one direction. And I think that's why I love our Love Your Neighbor series so much, because it feels like as a church, we're all running on the same rails. And we have so many leaders that have been leading for a long time. And we have brand new stinking leaders. And so I think it's just going to help all of us, the new leaders that are saying, hey, I'm having trouble just figuring out what am I going to do next. It helps them figuring out like, hey, taking the stress of what am I going to do? What do we need to study? As well as it also provides an avenue to where we have older leaders who have been doing this for a while saying, hey, I'm going to help the new leaders, as well as points of the year where you can do a study or some real discipleship within your group that's very specific for your group. So practically how that looks like is in January, for instance, we're going to do a series on Sunday called 21 Days of Prayer and Fasting. But we're also going to read a book about prayer and fasting. And all of the groups will read this book and kind of be on the same trail where it ends with all the groups doing a prayer experience. And I think that's going to be wonderful. And it gives a chance for some people in some groups to actually, even though we're not all in the same group, we're all doing the same thing and we're all learning and being discipled in the same direction. And then after that, we might have a time where it says, hey, Lombardo group, you're going to do something very specific for your group, and I'm going to do something for my group, and it doesn't have to be the same. So giving that freedom to kind of go in the direction where you can disciple your group. And so there's going to be lots of points of the year where we're all together, and then also parts of the year that we're not, but we're all going to be heading in the same direction. And so if you have questions, I realized after that meeting, we were kind of running late. I didn't want to keep everybody there forever. If you have questions about this or whatnot, I'm going to try to call everybody and just make sure we're all on the same page and that we're all clear moving forward in January. But man, if you're not, I don't want to wait for Kenny's phone call, give me a call. Please, I'd love to chat with you about it. If you have concerns or you have questions, I'd love to talk about it. People, life group leaders have been, as I've been talking about with them, have been talking back and giving some feedback, and I've really, really quite loved it. It's beginning to feel like we're a team, right? Not Kenny Barr is leading us or Nate is leading us. It's like, hey, this team is discipling and leading forward, so I really just appreciate that. We also talked a little bit about that leader standard. We spent about all of 30 seconds just figuring out who has gone through and who hasn't. And so if you were somebody that raised your hands, I wrote your names down, but I'd love to meet up with you and just talk through that. It's so important that we all are not in the sense of, hey, we all need to make sure we're following these rules, but we all have this understanding of our role that we play and the gravity of that role and how important you are in that role of being a leader here at North Church. And so I'd love just to walk through that with you if you haven't gone through it. So I'll be calling out, I'll be reaching out to you. And then the last thing we talked about was the importance of developing leaders. We chatted through that. I remember we had everybody stand up if you weren't there, and if you were a staff member or a spouse of a staff member, you sat down. And we just said, look at, these are the leaders in our room, which there was maybe like 8. And we have 600 plus people at our church, and only roughly 100 people that are actually being discipled through our groups. And we need more leaders if we're going to reach those other 500. Plus, I mean, I'm hoping our church grows, so we're going to need more leaders. And that starts with us taking a step, saying, I'm willing to help develop another leader to help grow and disciple our church. And so what that's going to require from us is on December 5th, we're going to be doing a leadership essential class, which these classes are going to be around developing leaders, right? And so I'm asking you, leaders, to say, hey, I would love for you to find somebody in your group and say, I can see leadership potential in you, and maybe have a conversation with them and saying, hey, I can see you doing this. And that's really the first step, is just saying, hey, I prayed about you. I've seen you in our group. I've seen how I can see your heart for other people and their discipleship. And I'd love to see maybe you'd be developed as a leader, and bring them to this apprenticeship class. If they're like, I don't know, maybe, bring them, right? This is a great opportunity for them to see what it's going to look like to be a leader. If they're like, yeah, I'm all about it, bring them. Right? We just really want to inspire people to say, hey, we need you. This can't all rest on 4 or 5 pastors at our church. This has to rest as a leadership group. And you guys have all proven how well and amazing you are as leaders. Once again, Pastor Nate said it. I'm saying it. Man, thank you so much for taking those steps of saying, hey, it's not just about me and my walk with God. It's about other people. And you're really being the church. And I just want to say thank you for being the church, not just here on a Sunday morning, but midweek in discipling people closer to Jesus. And so you guys all have my phone number. You have my email. Please, please, please reach out. I don't care if it's like, Kenny, I have a flat tire on the side of the road. I will come get you. Okay. Or it's, hey, I have a sticky situation in my group. Love to chat with you. I will take you out to food. I will bring you coffee. We just want to help serve you. So love you guys. Thank you so much once again for what you do. And we'll all see you on December 5th. There is a registration link on North Church. You click it, it just register. It helps me out with buying food. So please do that. It's free. If you have any questions about that, give me a call. All right, guys, we'll see you later. Have a good one.